On June 14, 2026, Oliver Tree boarded a helicopter in Rio de Janeiro. He had just performed in Sao Paulo 8 days earlier. He was in the middle of his biggest world tour yet. He had a show scheduled in Lisbon in less than a month. And then, 2 helicopters collided mid-air over the southwest of the city. And one of the most genuinely original artists of his generation was gone at 32 years old. Welcome to Pop Sip, and today we are talking about Oliver Tree. Who he was, what he built, and the things about his final chapter that the headlines are glossing over. If you only knew Oliver Tree from TikTok, you probably knew him as the guy with the bowl cut, the giant pants, and the scooter. And that was intentional. He built that image from scratch, and he used it to get people through the door. But here is what most people never looked past the aesthetic to see. Oliver Tree Nickel was born in Santa Cruz, California, to parents who were traveling circus performers. He grew up in a mobile home before his family settled down. He started playing piano as a toddler. By middle school, he was in a ska band. By high school, he had moved into hip-hop and electronic music, and was already DJing. He signed his first record deal in 2013 under the name Tree with R&S Records, and released a debut EP called Demons. Then, in a move almost nobody in the music industry would make voluntarily, he walked away from it. He went back to school. First, business at San Francisco State, then music technology at California Institute of the Arts, where he graduated in 2017. That decision, to stop, study, and come back with a clearer vision, shaped everything that followed. When he returned as Oliver Tree. Not just a name, a fully built character, a creative universe he controlled entirely. In 2016, a song called When I'm Down dropped as a collaboration with producer Weathen. It went viral. And instead of riding that wave the normal way, more features, more collabs, keep the momentum going, Oliver Tree did something strange. He signed with Atlantic Records, released a single called Welcome to LA, and then spent the next 2 years building something nobody had seen before. The 2018 EP Alien Boy introduced the full version of the character. The bowl cut, the oversized 80s clothing, the scooter, the comedy, the music videos he wrote and directed himself. The double video for All That and Alien Boy racked up over 50 million views and introduced his retro oddball aesthetic to a general audience that had no idea what to make of him and couldn't stop watching. He was doing something most artists refuse to do. He was using irony and absurdity as a Trojan horse. The comedy got you in the door. The actual music, which was genuinely well-crafted alt-pop with real emotional weight underneath the weirdness, kept you there. His first full studio album, Ugly is Beautiful, came out in 2020. It debuted at number 14 on the Billboard 200. Life Goes On from the deluxe edition went platinum and took off on TikTok in 2021, eventually being used in over 3.7 million videos on the platform. That song alone gave him 15.4 million TikTok followers. And then he kept going. Cowboy Tears in 2022, Alone in a Crowd in 2023, featuring Miss You with Robin Schulz, which became another massive hit. And this year, just 2 months before his death, he released Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, his 4th studio album, entirely self-produced. He was not coasting. He was accelerating. Here is what I want to spend a minute on, because I think it matters. Oliver Tree spent years being misread. The bowl cut and the absurdist persona became so associated with him that a lot of people never took the music seriously. He talked about that. In a 2023 interview with Anthony Padilla, he opened up about the period when Melanie Martinez's fanbase was targeting him online after the relationship ended in 2020. A relationship he described as formative and that they both said ended amicably. He said the harassment made him genuinely depressed. He said being constantly reduced to a meme, even one he had deliberately created, was isolating in ways that were hard to explain from the outside. And then, there is something that has been circulating in the days since his death. A music video for a song called Flowers, which shows him standing between 2 helicopters. Fans have called it eerie. Reportedly, some are calling it predictive. The reality is that it is a coincidence that hurts more because of how sudden and senseless the loss was. 2 helicopters collided mid-air over a car dealership parking lot in Rio de Janeiro. An investigation is underway. No cause has been officially confirmed. What we do know is that Oliver Tree was on the helicopter with 4 other people. Lucas Vignal, Gaspar Prim, Lucas Brito Chavez, and pilot Alexandra Souza. Argentine YouTuber Gaspar Prim, who also died in the crash, had reportedly been traveling with Tree during the Brazil leg of the tour. 6 people died that morning. None of them came home. Melanie Martinez was one of the first to publicly respond. She posted on her Instagram story hours after the news broke. She wrote that she had been an absolute wreck. She said it was hard to understand how someone who you once shared such a specific and formative time of your life with can all of a sudden be gone. She talked about his laugh. She said it was contagious and warm. She talked about his ability to lead creatively while maintaining what she called a sense of childlike wonder. And she ended with something that has stayed with a lot of people since. She wrote, "Rest in peace, Oliver. I know you are making the angels giggle." Atlantic Records and Warner Chappell Music released a joint statement calling him endlessly inventive and a true original. They said his absence would be deeply felt. What strikes me reading all of these is that the people who actually knew Oliver Tree are not talking about the bowl cut. They are talking about his warmth, his laugh, his dedication, his genuine love for the creative process. The public persona was a construction. The person underneath it was apparently someone people genuinely loved being around. He had a net worth of reportedly around $4 million at the time of his death. He had just released his best-reviewed album. He had tour dates scheduled across Europe, the United States, Australia, and China. He was 32 years old, and by every available measure, he was heading into the best years of his career. There is a version of the next 10 years where Oliver Tree becomes one of the defining artists of his generation, where the character he built becomes as iconic as some of the great theatrical personas in rock history, where the albums he had not made yet get made. That version does not exist anymore. What does exist is 4 studio albums, a body of music videos he wrote and directed himself, a creative legacy built entirely on his own terms, and the memory of someone who was, by all accounts, a lot more than what the internet decided he was. His final social media posts were from Brazil. He was posting content the day before the crash. He had no idea what was coming. None of them did. Oliver Tree was 32 years old. He died on June 14, 2026, in Rio de Janeiro in a helicopter collision that is still being investigated. He leaves behind his family, his fans, and a catalog of music that will sound different now than it did 2 weeks ago. Rest in peace, Oliver. Drop a comment with your favorite Oliver Tree song or memory. I want to read them. And if you are not subscribed to PopSip yet, this is the channel where we cover the stories that deserve more than a headline. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.